again, everyone, welcome back to another video. We're going to get straight into this because there's a lot of news to get through, and I'm going to try and get through this in good time. So let's get into the first topic, and it's of course the news going around that Xbox is going to have ARM architecture for their next hardware, be it the handheld or the actual console. This isn't news, by the way. Xbox Hero here is saying Brad Sams is reporting that the next generation of Xbox will run on hardware based on ARM architecture. Now, he's asking basically here, talk English for the ones who don't understand this language, thank you. Some Snapdragon hardware play video games, is what Xbox Hero is saying. But ARM architecture extends all the way to Nvidia, as they have ARM architecture as well, and this would be actually a different take and would make it a lot more compatible with multiple devices. Now this definitely would be Microsoft heading in a different direction, but this isn't news. But we do have this transcript over here. General summary: support the selling activities for the next generation of Surface and Xbox products built on Snapdragon solutions, which is where the ARM solutions came in. Identify and promote strategic opportunities for Qualcomm in these areas, and it keeps on going. But the key one here is Xbox products built on Snapdragon. Now, I believe this is more referring to the handheld than it is to the actual, the actual hardware console itself. The handheld being on Snapdragon actually makes a lot more sense. But why is this not news? It's because we have this, right? And as you can see here, key strategic decisions and investments. This was the leaked document during the FTC for what Microsoft was looking at for their next console. Silicon would be CPU ARM64. Boom. This was something that was released in 2022. This has already been on the cards. This isn't something that's magically appeared now and it's something new. This has been there since, this all leaked. We just, maybe they've had, now that they're talking about it a little more openly, but to me, this is just a nothing burger. Now, I do hope that they go with Nvidia, primarily because I think Nvidia is just a better company when it comes to graphics, although AMD does have the APU market in its pocket, and they're doing really good work with the APU, but that's just my opinion. So we have this as well. Too Much says post up, and as you can see here, we've got Doom the Dark Ages, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4, Wu Chang, which I'm actually looking forward to, and of course Gears Reloaded. These are all coming soon to a Game Pass near you. Now, of course, you do need Ultimate, but whether you play it on cloud, console, or PC, Xbox Game Pass has you covered. Now, this one is quite interesting because the way the PlayStation community came out, like flies around a garbage can, they came out in full force going, well, who's oh my god, 89 million. They didn't even wait to get the facts coming out. It turns out none of your personal details were, well, technically your personal details were released. Your telephone numbers was exposed, but none of your user details in terms of username, password, address, none of that was actually exposed. It was just phone numbers. Not like what the Sony breaches normally do, where they expose your credit card details, your address, your login and passwords, and everything else. Nothing to that extent. Although, it's quite funny. Well, worrying, I should say, actually, how the PlayStation community, and I'm talking like the upper echelon here, not the crappy ones like, Tripster and, Generic Eric. I'm talking about the upper echelon here. They came out in full force and was going trying to with pride, their chests were out with pride to try and actually say that, look, we're not the only ones that actually get our accounts hacked. There's other people too. Can you go berate them as well? And of course people would have berated them if their account was actually hacked. So this wasn't they were actually looking for a win in this. That's the point I'm trying to make. Pretty disgusting of them. Now, Square Enix doubles down on plans to release more Xbox games. Now, as some of you know, Final Fantasy Remake is still not here, 16 is still not here. June the 8th is the expected date that these will be showcased, and everyone's staying tight-lipped. I predicted that's where they're going to be, but it's been weird. It's been like a mixed message coming through, because there's been lots of games that have, well, I wouldn't say lots, but some of the more lower tier games that are still skipping Xbox and kind of not, you know, it's weird. They say they're doubling down, but they're not. It's like they've got one foot in and one foot out. Now, whether these games were actually built before this whole agreement and they were going out, we'll never know. But what is interesting, and what is, well, I would say not interesting, but really cool, is this. Kingdom Hearts 4 images are finally starting to come out. And one can only hope that this means that we're going to get more information soon. We're currently working hard on Kingdom Hearts 4 and will continue pouring ourselves into the game's development. We're dedicated to making this an experience that lives up to your expectations. We've seen how excited you are, and we are truly grateful from the bottom of our hearts. We are equally excited and can't wait to share more about Kingdom Hearts 4 when the time is right. Until then, we appreciate your patience. I suspect we'll probably hear something about this more at the Video Game Live Awards, you know, the Game of the Year Awards. I think that's going to be the next place we actually see it. So I think the Summer Games Fest might be too soon of a thing, but it would be lovely to see this, you know, either at the Xbox Showcase or at the Summer Games Fest, because a lot of people are looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to this. I might actually now, you know, this might just give me the incentive to go back and finish the other games that I haven't actually finished in the series, to get all caught up. But there's no way you're going to ever understand, you know, the actual story of this. Just go watch Donkey's video on how he tells the whole story in like 5 minutes. And if you don't come out more confused with more questions after he's explained it, I don't know what to tell you. But it's still an amazing game, right? It's still a good game. Ubisoft, for the first time ever, 16 of our games, from new releases like Assassin's Creed Shadows to classic like Watch Dogs 2, are now available to buy on Xbox app on Windows PC. The Xbox app is growing. That's all that this is for. Ubisoft are now pushing their games to more places in order to make more sales. So that's great. For those of you that are on the Xbox PC app or the, you know, the Windows Store app, this is great news if you're buying your games from there, because now you've got even more of an option of games coming your way. Steller Blade, now everyone's favorite Eve, is finally landing on PC. Now this is $59.99 on Steam, and the complete edition is $79.99. They've literally taken the pound sign and flipped it over to, well, the dollar sign and flipped it over to a pound sign, so it's 59.99p in the UK and basically £80 for the complete edition. Now this is cool. You get a bunch of stuff, and it is landing on June 11th. Pretty cool stuff, or at least maybe the complete edition is going to be available to rebuy for PlayStation 5. It's currently not really clear, but this is one of the images that was posted, and this is the Royal Guard outfit. It is going to be one of the outfits that you can now unlock. Now, whether these new benefits are going to go over to PlayStation as well, I fully expect them to, but you can see that there are going to be at least 25 more new outfits. And of course, then there's the modding community, who's going to absolutely revolutionize what Eve is wearing. So that's going to be absolutely interesting. The Thirsty crew are going to come out like there's no tomorrow. So now we move over to a little bit more light-hearted stuff. Blue Protocol, which was dead and then revived, and then dead again, and then revived again, and then dead, and then finally revived again. Star Resonance is coming to Steam and Epic Store globally. This means that the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series S and X version is off the table for the time being, at least. And I think that's a bad move. They should have released this globally on all platforms. It's a shame. I'm going to have a link to this in the description below, because you can go and pre-register on either Steam or Epic, but it's a bit of a disappointment. I was hoping that the consoles would get this as well. That was the original plan. Of course, the big news here is that the next generation Xbox will potentially run on ARM software, but as I said, this is nothing new. This was leaked in the official documents, you know, during the FTC trial back in 2022. So we've known about the ARM CPU, we just didn't know what it was for. I suspect this is totally going to be for the handheld. But hey, if you made it this far, thank you so much. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that bell to stay up to date with all content I release. Leave a comment below, let me know your thoughts. If you want to support me further, you can do that by hitting the super thanks. And of course, if you want to support me further, you can become a YouTube member. However, the cheapest way to support me is by hitting that like button, subscribing, leaving a comment, hitting that bell. Doesn't cost you anything. And 63% of you are returning members. Yes, 63. We are starting to chip away at that. If you are enjoying the content, please do consider subscribing. It really helps the YouTube algorithm. It really helps the channel. And it helps the video if you are enjoying the content by simply leaving a like. If all of you actually subscribed, like I keep saying in every video, we would hit that 10,000 goal already. Well, folks, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Remain legend.